Okay, so ready to get our hands dirty.
Let's do it.
Today, we're going deep, deep into the mines.
Ooh, sounds a little dangerous.
Not really. We're talking about cryptocurrency mining. Going past all the, headlines and buzzwords and really trying to understand how this whole digital gold rush uh, actually works.
Yeah, yeah. Beyond just like, oh, Bitcoin mining, it's like digital gold.
Exactly, exactly. We've got this really awesome explainer we're going to use to break down the tech, the trends, what it all means for crypto as we know it.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing when you really get into it. It's like imagine trying to solve this incredibly complex puzzle,
Okay.
but you're not alone. You're competing with literally thousands of other people,
Oh wow.
all armed with, super powerful computers. And the first one to crack the code, they get a reward. And that reward is cryptocurrency. That's mining in a nutshell.
So it is like a treasure hunt, but it's digital.
Yeah, a high-stakes digital treasure hunt.
High stakes. So why go through all that trouble? What's the point of even mining in the first place?
Well, it all comes down to security, right?
Okay.
So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, um, they rely on this decentralized system. So no banks, no central authority. So how do you ensure that there's trust in the system and prevent any kind of fraud?
Right, that makes sense.
That's where the miners come in, right? They're the ones who are verifying transactions, adding them to the blockchain, which is like this giant public ledger, and essentially they're making sure everything runs smoothly.
So they're like the guardians of the blockchain, kind of like upholding the law of the land.
Exactly, exactly.
You mentioned rewards, though. Is that where that getting rich quick idea comes from?
Well, there's definitely, a financial incentive for the miners. They're getting rewarded with cryptocurrency for their efforts. But it's not as simple as it sounds. This whole mining game has evolved into a really competitive and incredibly resource-intensive industry.
Okay, so mining Bitcoin on my old laptop in the basement, probably not going to
We're
happen.
not going to cut it these days. In the early days, yeah, you you could get away with that. But now we're talking specialized hardware, massive amounts of electricity. I mean, Bitcoin mining alone uses more energy than some small countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and elaborate cooling systems to keep those mining rigs from overheating. It's a whole different ballgame now.
Okay, so what are the options for someone who wants to get into mining today?
Well, I mean, you could try going solo, right? You could do solo mining. But the odds of success they're pretty slim. It's kind of like panning for gold in a river that's already been heavily mined.
Yeah, okay, so you need a team then.
Exactly. That's where mining pools come in.
But
It's like a group of prospectors combining their resources and their efforts to increase their chances of striking gold, right? So by pooling their computing power together, they have a much higher probability of solving those complex puzzles and getting those rewards.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there's a way to mine without even owning any of the equipment.
You got it. You're catching on quick. There's also something called cloud mining. It's basically like renting computing power from a company that already has all that, fancy, expensive hardware.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you basically pay them a fee, and they do all the mining for you.
Okay, cool. So this is all based on that proof of work I've heard people talking about.
Yeah, precisely. Proof of work or POW. It's that mechanism that makes all of this possible, right?
Okay.
It's essentially a way to prove that you've put in the computational effort, the work, so to speak, to earn those rewards.
Hmm.
But it's also the reason why mining has become so energy intensive.
So are there any alternatives, something a little more eco-friendly?
There is. It's called proof of stake, or POS. And instead of relying on massive amounts of computing power, POS is more like it's more like earning interest on the cryptocurrency that you already hold. So think of it like you being rewarded for being a long-term investor in the network.
Okay. So with PowW, you're doing the work to secure the network
Hmm.
and getting rewarded. And with POS, you're putting your existing coins to work for you.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And each system, of course, has its own advantages and disadvantages. BowW is very secure, but as we talked about, it comes with a hefty energy bill. POS is more energy efficient, but it has its own set of challenges and its own set of critics.
For sure, yeah. So what about the hardware? What are miners actually using to solve all these puzzles?
Well, for Bitcoin mining specifically, the gold standard is something called an ASIC. Yeah, ASIC. And these are specialized chips that are designed specifically for mining, and they're incredibly powerful but also very expensive. Now, for other cryptocurrencies, miners might use GPUs, which are, the graphics cards that you'd find in like a high-end gaming computers.
Yeah.
So choosing the right hardware it's absolutely crucial. But even with the best equipment, the cost of electricity can really make or break your mining operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, profitability depends on well, a lot of different factors, right?
Sure.
The cost of your hardware, your electricity rates, the price of the cryptocurrency that you're mining, the overall difficulty of the network. It's a very complex equation.
Definitely not something to just jump into blindly.
Absolutely not. Do your research, understand the risks, and consider the legal landscape too, right?
Mhm.
Because some countries, believe it or not, have actually banned mining
Right.
due to the energy consumption or other concerns.
Right. Right. Wow. Okay. So what does all this mean for, like, the future of cryptocurrency? Is POS eventually going to replace POW, do you think?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's it's such a rapidly evolving space. It's really fascinating to see how all these different technologies are playing out. But imagine a future where securing cryptocurrency doesn't rely on these massive energy-hungry data centers, but it's actually distributed um, among individuals all over the world, each kind of contributing their own stake to the network. What are the implications of that?
Yeah. Definitely a lot to think about.
It is, and that's something to keep in mind as you continue your own deep dive into the world of cryptocurrency.
Great point. I think we just scratched the surface here, but hopefully, this gave everyone a better understanding of how crypto mining actually works, and what the future may hold. And there's a whole universe of information out there, so go explore.
Go explore.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy mining!